The NSA wiretapping program, Gitmo, the Patriot Act, the war in Iraq. Most Democrats are against all those. So Ann Coulter wants to know exactly which parts of the war on terror are Democrats for. She's author of the bestseller, Godless. Hi, Ann. Thanks for being here. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Well, you do a great job in your editorial of kind of listing it all out, and when you do, it's very interesting to see. They're really good at saying what they're against, aren't they?
Right. And the point of this column was, you know, they have this talking point now about how they're against the war in Iraq, and this is a distraction from the war on terror, and if the Democrats were in, oh boy, would they be fighting that war on terror. But Iraq, it's a useless distraction from the war on terror. Which, you know, I suppose you could oppose the war in Iraq and support the war on terror, except when you look at all of their other positions, they're against every part of the war on terror. Every cell Bush breaks up. No, pish tosh, that was, they were just jokers. They weren't going to pull off an attack. They said that about the Miami cell, the New York cell that was going to blow up, I don't know, the tunnels and the bridges. Even the London cell is being scoffed at. They're against the NSA spying program, listening or following phone calls made from al-Qaeda phone numbers. They're against the Patriot Act. The vast majority of Democrats, 43-2, voted against renewing the Patriot Act last December. They're, of course, against profiling for airplanes. Instead, are profiling for Muslims. They're for profiling for, you know, liquids, for saline solution. So what would they do?
Well, you know, why this is important, I think, is because politically, the fight against the war on Iraq is gaining a lot of political traction. Yes, exactly. They've said it so often, how the war in Iraq is distracting from the war on terrorism, and Bush, he's wasted all this time in Iraq while terrorists are running free. It really is just a talking point. You know, they could have said that about the Patriot Act. You know, the Patriot Act is distracting from the real global war on terrorism. Well, you know, there are a lot of terrorists in a lot of countries. Republicans have understood this for a long time. Democrats do not. What they want to do is have chit-chat, play semantic games. And, you know, when the country is in a fight for its life. Well, now you've said it well. The problem is that the administration doesn't always go out there and sell this. It doesn't always go out there and say, what are the Democrats for in this war on terror? They are getting better, however, at saying, you know, you need to be against the war on Iraq to be against the war on terror. But you know, trying to find out what they are for is an important part of that. Do you think the getting out there and selling themselves and fighting against the Democrats, that finally we're going to get the Republicans out there to fight?
I hope so. I mean, this is the most important issue facing the nation now, and as I've said before, this historically should not be a good year for Republicans, which is very dangerous for America. I mean, if Democrats take control of the House and the Senate, at least according to what they say, they'll be shutting down Guantanamo, and you know, as I say in the column, they act as if the inmates at Guantanamo are innocent insurance salesmen who may have been imprisoned completely by mistake. These are al-Qaeda fighters, Taliban fighters, captured on the battlefield. And, you know, Dick Durbin, Senator Dick Durbin, the Democrat, compares Guantanamo, our servicemen in Guantanamo, to Soviet gulags, to Nazi concentration camps. Of course, you know, the UN is against it, and of course the entire world community. Well, where are those al-Qaeda fighters going to go if they shut down Guantanamo, as several Democrats have called for? Representative Harman in the House of Representatives, Democrat from California, wants to shut down Guantanamo. What would they do if they overturn the Patriot Act? So we won't allow the CIA intelligence gathering to communicate with the FBI.
Yeah.
That is what allowed 9/11 to happen. What would they do? That's what the Democrats need to be asked. Not let them get away with all of this chit-chat about how they want, you know, diplomacy, constructive diplomacy, and we need better diplomacy, and we'd really fight the war. Well, what would you do?
Yep. Well, the question is, can the Republicans do that? All right. Thanks so much,
Yes.
Ann. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
All right.